Last week, we were looking at youth and Nigeria's socio-economic challenges. And my youth here have been profiling the way forward. This week, we are going to go into other areas that have never been touched. And here, I also have here Glory Oludare, who is the founder, TRAW Consult.
It's a pleasure, sir.
And education outfit.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you once again.
Thank you so much, sir.
I also have Adebayo Adebori, who is also the founder of Education Wins, EDWIN. They are both in the educational sector of our economy, and they are doing great. I warmly welcome you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for your contribution last week.
A pleasure.
This time around, I want us to look at youths and urbanization challenges. It's like every youth wants to come to the town. Every youth wants to be aligning with cities where the economy is buoyant and the like. What is your own view? How do we make the youths to be restive or to be able to cope and meet up with developmental issues in their remote areas?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Well, the fact that the country, as it were, the economic factors and all of those opportunities may differ in terms of the rural and the urbanization, the urban areas, does not actually mean that there is no one that cannot try, especially as regard the youths. I believe that one of the things that our government needs to focus on is on the various opportunities, various resources that are available in the remote area. Now, I believe we all came from various villages where we see things there. One of the things I'm talking about is the area of agriculture. Okay. Aside the issue of insecurity in the country, which needs to be dealt with, which needs to also be, more given attention, the agricultural environment where we have a lot of people, as in the environment where you have farming opportunities where youth can venture into, and aside that, youth can also venture into technical skills, vocational skills that can improve not only the people in the remote area, which the people who are in the urban area can also benefit from. I believe that our government needs to focus more on the agricultural areas, the vocational areas. What I mean by vocational area, I mean skills that need to be empowered. This is the digital age where all of these things can also thrive with the tool of digital in this digital age, such that they are not just abandoned. Because whether we like it or not, people are making ends meet in the remote area, and there is still need for more development in those areas, especially through the community development association. So more skills need to also be invested there, such that the youths there, they will not just see themselves being forgotten or being abandoned.
Perhaps you want to add more?
Okay, yeah, so I wanted to say that for a people, there are a lot of factors that determines where we stay, where we live. Access to electricity, water, basic needs of humans. Now we are in an age whereby we have phones. We need to communicate with our people.
Yeah.
For instance, even if you are working remotely, and you are working with a company in US, for instance, and you decided that, okay, I want to be staying in a village, and then for a whole week you don't have electricity. You have children, your children don't have good schools. So these are some of the things that we need to also look at. So I see it as, if the government really wants us to have smart city, yes, we can actually develop smart cities.
Yes.
Like, okay, in this area, we want to develop this area such that a lot of people will be able to live in this area. Then we need to provide, there should be an hospital there. There should be a hospital, they should have water. There should be a security outfit in that area. Talking about insecurity is real. Nobody wants to put their assets in a place that somebody will just come and they will take everything. So we also need to think about transportation. So we just look at some areas, we discover that the road linking those areas they have nothing to write home about. So these are some of the things that we really need to look at. If these things are provided, people will want to live in those areas. For instance, if the government decides that, okay, we want to develop a new city now, and then for you to stay in that area, we are going to, one of the things that they do, if they are trying to maybe sell some areas in terms of estate, probably people will get it in form of, they can be paying it small, they'll be paying it bit by bit in form of a mortgage. So all those things will encourage people to go there and stay in those areas.
Talking about housing.
Housing, yes.
Scheme.
Exactly.
Well, I want to say that I think the Ministry of Rural Development is coming up with even solar lights. And then you can see some of the villages being energized. And when we have an environment where there's power, particularly green environment, then you can be sure that the youths will be lively. They can be able to read, they can be able to also tap into some other skills that may be available within that environment. Well, I want to ask you, our policymakers, how do you understand, or do they understand the needs of the youth? If it is yes, how are they coming up with policies that can change the environment?
All right. Yeah, one of the things that needs to be focused on in terms of bringing anyone into the policy, being a policymaker terrain, is that there is need for someone who is vast in knowledge in terms of what that area contains, especially in terms of the ministerial portfolios. And as it were, at least in our country at the moment, we just have our ministerial appointments to some of the individuals. And individual personality like Bosun Tijani, who is the Minister for Digital, Ministry, Digital Economy, Communications.
Digital communications.
Yes. He's really working on, bringing countries that will collaborate, build partnership, especially for the country. And that is a big plus to us, because in the tech world now, the tech world is really being bombarded with a lot of innovations are coming up, which is really very, very good. And I see him as someone who is going to really help the youths of today, such that that industry, as regard many other, in fact, the creative economy that we were talking about the other time, will also be more improved. Those who have the small enterprises will be able to thrive with what they have. And another thing that the government needs to do is to also really help our youths in terms of their own area of field, as in bringing what we call meritocracy. Those who are gifted in certain area, they should also be empowered for the next years ahead, because after 4 years, some of our people in the government, they will leave. And so there is need to also prepare those ones that will be ready to take the baton to the next level for the development of the country.
When you look at the Minister of Youth, Sports and
Sport Development,
Minister of Youth and Sport Development, are they really connecting with the demands and the yearnings of the youth?
Yeah, so I think they are trying, but there is room for more. In fact, if possible, we can start thinking around splitting the two ministries, if possible. But even as it is now, it's also important for us to start having our vision for the youth. Like, what do we really expect from our youth? So, I mean, when we have this, they'll begin to see that, okay, this is our vision. So how do we drive this vision? What are the things that we really need to do? Then we start having quarterly goals. Like, how many youths do we really want to reach in a quarter?
Let's look at the sports development.
So for sports now, the truth is, most of our, if we want to really go into that, we'll discover that even those that have the opportunity to be in our national teams, you hear stories of maybe their salaries being delayed, things like that. So you will discover that they are not really motivated as it should be. And there is something we talk about in education. Before we're talking about well-being. Before a child can learn, there are 3 questions that a child will ask. The first thing is, am I safe? Am I loved? And then, what can I learn? So when the first 2 have not really been taken adequate care of, you will discover that if you are only focusing on the 3rd one, we'll only be wasting our time. For example, we are talking about sports development. People know that, okay, even if I'm coming from a low-income community, I don't know anyone, I may not even get to that stage. So we need to start looking at it from, even if it's talking about auditioning, everything should be, we should allow everyone, there should be a free will such that no matter who you are, no matter who you know, you'll be able to have this opportunity. So these are some of the things. Yes, exactly. Our talent hunting should not be biased. We should not be sentimental about it. We should just go to the field, get the best hands. And then those that we see that, okay, these people have these talents, how can we continue to grow them? That is why we have, as it stands now, we also need to understand that not everyone will go into music, not everyone will go into sports. And then we also have different types of sports. Our focus should not be on a particular kind of sport. We should not just be looking at, okay, football.
It should be an holistic.
Exactly.
Okay.
Everybody should be carried along. And then there are also some indoor games that are also coming up now. So we need to really invest more in it, because I believe that let's look at some of these thriving players, footballers in the world. Now, by the time they get their funds, they have this money, most of them will, obviously they will stay in their country. We talk about Ronaldo, talk about Messi. They are making money, a lot of money. They have cars, they pay tax. And they are paying tax to the country where they are living. So, and where they are working. Exactly. So look at it. So, but because this country, we don't really value what we have, some other people that value them, they take them from us and they begin to nurture them. So they take the glory on the long run. And these people have no choice but to stay there, because they know that they were developed in those areas. Except for some of them that are coming back and supporting us. We need to really talk about what someone like Bukayo Saka is doing. He's really helping a lot of people in Nigeria. I mean, even though he doesn't live here, he's a national, he plays for England. But with the little he has, he's ensuring that, don't let me say with the little he has, because he has more, but let's say the little he has actually. So he is bringing a lot, supporting people in terms of health, our health institutions, supporting people in terms of the operation and all that. So by the time we have this mindset, maybe because of the environment he grew in, he sees it as, okay, we can also develop people in our country. We have people like Kano. I think he also has a sports foundation now. So, and also some of them can also start working with the government in terms of developing a football academy, all those other academies, and also sponsoring people out of the country to learn, and also giving them the opportunity to continue with what they are learning here in the country.
Thank you very much. Let's fall into the Nollywood.
All right.
Theater, arts, and the like.
Yes.
I can see youths are really springing up with surprises.
Yes.
And changing the dynamics in the world. Are you saying that Nigeria is now encouraging them?
Well, an average Nigerian will like to watch Nollywood. I believe so. And then nowadays, now that you have all these videos on the YouTube, well, the only issue that we have there is that there is still need for proper structuring in that field, especially for those who are coming in, because it is there, it is more or less, one of the critical things about the Nollywood, the film industry that we need to understand is about modeling. And it is whatever younger ones see there that they model around, whether we like it or not. And so as a result, I believe the government needs to give a proper structure to that field, such that there are the things that are being projected, the films that are being projected are not just projected on the basis of fame or on the basis of I want to have this money, I want to have the cars in order to harass my fellow other person in terms of modeling now. So the government needs to, and the organization, the management team of that, the film industry, they need to put a proper structuring, and then the government also needs to give them the chance to collaborate. Our Nigerian Nollywood actors and actresses, they are really trying. They are doing a lot, both individually with their film production. They are really trying, talk of the like of Ruth Kadiri and the rest. They are really trying. So there is need for proper structuring.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, let's look at the music industry.
Okay.
Are the youths having a congenial environment that can make them to thrive? I said congenial in view of the fact that we just had a very sad event. Look at the issue of Mohbad.
Okay.
Ilirolua having his life cut short. So what's your view?
Okay, so the music industry and Nigerian society in general. So many years ago, I think there is something that is more prominent, and that is this issue of some people, we have them as the promoters. Okay. So we have a lot of talent. And then there is something that social media, the internet has brought to us that makes it, much more easier. In fact, it's also applicable in Nollywood as well.
Yes.
If you go online, it's decentralized to the point that if you can just easily create, just have a Google account, a Gmail account, and then you can go to Facebook, go to YouTube, and then you create a channel and start posting what you are doing. We have content creators that are actually doing fine there.
Yes.
In fact, I was listening to one of these comedians. He was talking about the fact that every month, at least they make about 10 million naira. And they are here in this Nigeria.
Yes.
Not through any promoter, actually. They are doing it directly via, they go to YouTube, they create content and they post it. So that alone has made it easier for some of our music talent to also develop. But maybe because of what we still have, they still need a little leverage before they can get to that level. So here in this, as we have
does the National Youth Trust Fund come to mind?
Okay, so National Youth Trust Fund is something that we can actually pursue as a country. I mean, the government just approved student loans, which will definitely help a lot of students that do not have access to education. But then, talking about this National Youth Trust Fund, we also need to look at how will it really be accessible to those that really need it? Because on the long run, if you are not careful, we'll discover that those that will get it will be those that even without the trust fund, they can still thrive. So access to these opportunities and some other things are also important. I mean, my partner, Igleri, was talking about regulation the other time. Every institution all over the world, there is need for regulation. If it's not regulated, people will take laws into their hands and do whatever they want to do. So going by the example you cited the other time, well, the case is still in court, so I don't really want to go into it. But the little that we know is that he used to be under a record label. And then he discovered that, okay, because of the fact that they are not treating him as he ought to be treated, because probably he got to a level and he discovered that he's worth more than he's getting. So he decided to leave and go and start his own. Then this problem started. So we need to start having this conversation around people knowing who they are and then how they can actually thrive. That is why some youth, there is nothing like, okay, I'm working in a company and then I have to work there for the rest of my life. It's not compulsory that I retire there. I can decide to see opportunity in another area and then I will go. So by the time all this, if there is a regulation as regards this, then we'll begin to see that, okay, if somebody is even trying to, you know, do what they are not supposed to do to you, you can easily go and meet them that, okay, no, I will report to you. And then when we see things that are coming up, it is important for all of us. It should not be at the end that we start talking about solutions. Okay, what are we going to do? Justice for this person, when the deed has already been done. So at the time that these things are coming up, and then we should also use that as an opportunity to learn and then develop. That is one of the reasons why we are talking about it. Okay, what are the regulations that we have in place? Can we have like a musical, can the government, okay, I think we have a Ministry of Arts and Culture.
Yes.
So what are they doing as regards talents like this? How are they developing them? Is it possible for the government? Okay, the government cannot promote. We have individual promoters, and then can we have a, there are some people that do something like talent show. I think there's a, for example, yes, like I think it's Salat, there is something that they do. So different things like that should also come up. The government can also sponsor things like that, just to, you know, promote what they are doing. The ministries can also come up with organization, with structures to support them. And those that are doing it, they should also have a way of, you know, auditing what they are doing and seeing how they are working with their people.
Well, thank you so much. Something came to my mind, and that's talking about youths also having vanguards, whereby they can protect their interests. Yes. How organized is the youth?
Well, it depends on the kind of creativity and the kind of content they are trying to
protecting themselves against abuses,
all right,
against unlawful acts,
all right,
and against some business policies that will be detrimental to their interests.
One of the things our youth needs to do is there are organizations both in terms of the community, both national, states, that can join. We have communities that are there for justice. We can join them. We can also work with them, run a partnership with them, such that, you know, we learn what they do and also take their interests at heart when you join them. There are organizations. I'm a member of ANA, Authors Association of Nigeria. We are protected to at least to an extent. And there are other organizations that are there for justice that youth can join. Because one of the things I've found out in this country is that a lot of youth that are talented, you know, because of the bad group they try to force themselves into, you know, court groups, the cybercrime fraud groups and all that, you know, tend to put their life into danger, and as a result of that, they are not able to. Nobody is ready to protect somebody who is already in danger in his or her life. So, you know, so the youth need to come to that understanding, and they need to find the right channel, right groups to join, is such that someone who wants to protect, who wants to, stand up for them, can stand in. Not at the way. For instance, in the case of Mohbad, if he has been able to channel all his resources, the content, the creativity into something, you know, into where he will be protected, all this will not happen.
The youths need to do something right. They need to be focused. The youth must embrace truth. I must engender themselves, align themselves to legal activities. It is in doing that they can prosper. It is in doing that the economy of the nation will grow, and there will be peace and development in the nation. Thank you so much,
yes, sir.
Glory Oludare.
Yes, sir.
I thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
I hope when next we call on you, you'll be with us.
Of course.
Adebayo, Adebori, it's also a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Until next week, when we have another program, viewers, I want to say thank you for staying with us all these years. It is still your image, your anchor, Akin Okudero. Until next week, when we come with another brand new topic, please stay safe. Bye.